Hello everybody and welcome back to Farm Sim 25 and welcome back to our Sharon Center Root Crop Survivals Challenge. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight it's August, which means it's time to harvest our potatoes. But you know, we have a little bit of a problem that I didn't think about until just now. We have the tractor over there hooked up, ready to go. We are going to have to top the field before we go in and actually harvest the field. But there's one small problem. We don't have anything to cart. This is our only tractor. I kind of went all in. And you may look up at the top and be like, well, Spartan, I don't think you're going to be able to find a carton tractor that's going to work for you. And I would say you're probably correct. But I do have some mods for some older tractors in the game. So let's take a look at those, see what we can come up with. But I think before we even get started, as much as I love our little windmill and our little outshed here, I think they gotta go. I'm gonna need the money. I guarantee it. So yeah, let's get into the construction menu. Let's sell those off if we can. It's not gonna give me a lot of money extra, but hopefully it'll give me something. So let's go ahead and select this. Okay, $4,794 for selling this building. All right, fair enough. And we will sell off our windmill as well. Another $4,794 to sell that. So perfect. All right, so that gives us $37,000 in the bank, which should hopefully be enough to get us a little carton tractor. So let's see if we can find a small tractor that will do some carton for us. Now, obviously the base game tractors, they're too expensive. Like, we can't even afford the cheapest base game tractor. Like, it's crazy. But what we can do is look down in our mods. I have a lot of mods. And the main thing that we're going to be looking for is a reasonable tractor with a decent amount of horsepower that's, you know, just a carting tractor. I don't need it to do anything crazy. And this AgroStar 661 is kind of sticking out there, you know. If you guys remember, we actually have an AgroStar. It's this version of the AgroStar. It's a base game AgroStar, 831. And it has 230 horsepower. But this mod allows us to have the AgroStar... Where'd it go? I didn't go far enough, sorry. The AgroStar 661 for 28 grand. And I don't need to do anything crazy with it. We just let it do its thing. I don't know what all configurations it's got. I don't even know what's changing, to be honest. Yeah, I don't know. We're just going to leave it as is. I think this will be a perfect little pair tractor with our other Deutz-Fahr. And this will be a nice little carton tractor. And that hopefully will leave us enough money in the bank to go ahead and do some AI today too, because we're going to need it. Let's jump in our new Deutz-Fahr. Sounds pretty good. Let's look at the inside. Pretty basic, as you'd expect, but it should be a solid truck, or solid tractor for us. Well, let's get this thing home. Got a decent speed as well, which is nice, especially for a carton tractor. But we'll hook this thing up to the wagon, take it over to the field, and then we will commence with the potato harvest. Which, by the way, you guys probably want to take it easy, because get you a snack, something, it's going to be a while, all right? I'm recording this kind of late, so I may split this into two pieces. And if I do that, I apologize, but, you know, you got to do what you got to do sometimes. Like I said, this is one of those times where I know this harvest is going to take probably 4 hours real time to actually complete. So we are in real time on the game as well, so you guys should be able to keep track of how long it takes me to do this, even with a time lapse or a jump cut. So it's going to be kind of crazy. Oh, this is one of those that have the ability to change your mirrors and stuff too. And it does have, like, working mirrors. Pretty sick. I like that. But we're coming up on town right now. We should be able to make a left-hand turn and head over to our farm. We did manage to put our farm as far away from everything as humanly possible, so yeah, not ideal there. But at least we're close to where we sell things. Why would you idiot? I mean, I'm the idiot. I was supposed to yield, but still, I was expecting the bus to get off on my exit. I wasn't expecting it to go back around the roundabout. Whoopsie. I'm sure there are other farmers out here running Deutz-Fars, right? Surely. Yeah, probably not. They know exactly who did that. It's the new guy. Get him! But we're going to head up here and get this party started. So probably just cut. Sounds pretty good, though. Boy, this thing turns quick. But here we are back to the farm. We're going to hook this thing up to the old trailer. Probably going to be a little bit small for the trailer, but should be able to get the job done. Beautiful. We're going to have to open the trailer up. Pull this over here just for the time being, because first and foremost we got to start the topping process. So let's head down to the end of the field and start removing the foliage off this field. Alright. So as expected, 3 meter working width, this is going to take a while. Fortunately, the topping process goes a little bit faster because you can do 11 miles an hour. So it won't take nearly as long. actually have an idea. We have plenty of horsepower on the other Deutz-Fahr. This may be a situation where I go ahead and set the AI to do the topping while I start doing the actual harvesting. Because we can do twice as much area topping than we can harvesting. So, if I can do that, that would be great. But yeah, only time will tell how this works out. Trying to get it online. It's being a little bit difficult. Alright, that is our headlands done. I'm going to go ahead and drop that there. We're going to go hook up to the actual digger itself. And then we'll bring the trailer over. You can tell it's a heavy piece of equipment here. Alright, we're going to pull into this grass field and turn around. And then we will transfer over to this little tractor. Like I said, we'll pull the trailer over so that it's at least close by. And we'll go grab the topper. And I'll let the AI start doing the topping while I start doing some potato harvesting. At least that's the goal. Hopefully it works out like that. Alright, so it is going... Oh, minimum number of headlands is 2. That's annoying. Okay, well, I guess I gotta try to do 2 headlands real quick. Hopefully this doesn't hurt my potatoes, but I don't think it will. All right. Now, let's see if we can get the AI to take over. And while that's working, we're going to go ahead and unfold this thing. Turn it on. Set ourselves up. Harvesting? Sure doesn't feel like it. Also, it is. It just takes a second. We've got potatoes! This harvests a lot faster than I thought. I thought this was going to be kind of slow. But I'm glad. This thing's going much faster than I gave it credit for. But she is filling up relatively quickly with potatoes. Not gonna lie, this is gonna take a minute. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and grab the trailer and bring down to this end. Because it seems like we're going to be able to do basically 2 full rows. One down, one back, and then have to empty into the trailer. There we go. I'll figure it out eventually. Oh, I gotta reset it every time, don't I? Oh, that's crazy. So hard to figure out where I've been and where I need to be, because it's offset from where I'm actually at. Alright, let's try that. Did I not turn the harvester on? Is that what's going on? I think that's exactly what's going on. Okay, I think I've got... This is the first time I've ever done this, so I apologize if you guys are going to get upset with me. But there's a lot to learn here. Honestly, I kind of wish I could just let the AI do this, and then I would just cart him. As a matter of fact, I might just do that. Minimum of 7 headlands passes. Alright, I'm going to let the AI do this, because it's too annoying for me to do. I'm going to stop this for the time being. And of course they run straight into... I'm going to turn the traffic off too, because that traffic is irritating me, because it's always just bottlenecked right there at that intersection. Traffic off. Go ahead and grab this. All right. Eventually the AI is going to get that thing turned around and get online. And then we'll just cart it as needed. Eventually we'll be able to have better equipment. But, yeah. For our first harvest, like, that is really, really tedious to try to do by yourself. Like, I don't know how you manage to, like, keep it online and harvest all the things you're supposed to harvest. Seems to be doing a decent speed too, so hopefully it won't be too bad. One thing's for sure, we got our work cut out for us. Just have to keep an eye out on the upper right corner for when it decides to yell at me, saying that he's 80% full or whatever, because he will fill up very quickly. Alright, So, all of the foliage has been removed from our potato field. I'm going to go ahead and drop this header off if I have time. I haven't seen it yell at me for almost full tank yet. So I'm going to try to drop this header off real quick. And I think I might drive over top of our silo entry, or dumper area, whatever you want to call it, the silo area. See if this is capable of being loaded into our silo. I don't think it is. And if it isn't, then yeah, we're kind of in a pickle. Might be able to sell off that silo if that's the case. Get us a little bit more money in the bank. Because right now that AI has cost me about $1,800 an hour. Okay, so we can actually put potatoes in there. Good to know. We're not going to just yet. I'm going to put my foliage remover up in the front. And we're going to go keep up with the AI. But I think I'm going to go ahead and end this first recording here. And I guess I will come back when we're a little closer to finishing this field. All right. I'm going to go ahead and call this a harvest. I know there's some potatoes left in this field, but I've been going for about 6.5 hours at this point. Between the AI working and then I'm working. Yeah, it's been a brutal first harvest, like for reals. I'm pretty sure there's a law in the Geneva Convention or something that says that this is illegal, but this has been rough, and you can clearly see where the AI stopped and where I started. Like, it's so hard to get every little 1.5 meter row. Like, that's crazy. I don't know how you're supposed to do that. Now, one thing I did notice is with my current setup, I don't actually have to put the rake down or the diggers down to go pick up the actual potatoes. I can just drive with the digger up and it still harvests, which is great because that allows me to go faster, which definitely didn't help all that much, to be perfectly honest. But yeah, 452,000 liters worth of potatoes off our first harvest ever. And that number is only going to go up as we start to get into a little bit better equipment. So yeah, 6.5 hours, guys, of real time. You guys see it up there. You guys know I've been in real time this whole time. 6.5 hours of harvesting. And we didn't even get all the potatoes off the field. That's crazy. So, as you guys might expect, we're going to be trying to upgrade equipment ASAP for reals. But we're going to go ahead and pull over here. We're going to fill up with some fuel, shut our tractor down, and let's take our potato harvester back home. What a doozy of a mess. I'll be real honest. That was crazy. I don't even know how in the world you're supposed to get everything perfect with a 1.5 meter working width. That's crazy. Seriously, that's nuts. But we did the best we could. Our first harvest is officially complete. Well, I say our first potato harvest is officially complete. And I don't know what I'm going to get out of potatoes, but I'm hoping it's a lot. 450,000 liters is quite the haul, but I don't know what that's going to relate to in terms of price. I'm hoping that it's going to be decent. Right? That's my hope. But we'll see. For now, we're going to back this sucker into the shed. We don't have a power washer. We ain't got no money. So she gets put away real dirty. Totally clipped the door there. Yep. Got this gigantic gate, and I somehow screwed this up. Alright. We are officially done with fueling up. We're going to back this sucker in there too. Don't want our potatoes in our wagon to get out in the open here. We'll put it into our climate-controlled warehouse. Shed, whatever you want to call it. Hopefully that'll keep them decent until we're able to sell them. Now we could sell them right away to get some money, but I do think I'm going to wait for the highest price. Hopefully that doesn't clip through the tractor. We good. There we go. All right, and with that, August is done, man. What a harvest. Now let's look at our map real quick. So potatoes again get planted in what do we say, March? Yeah. So they get planted back in March. And then of course we sell them. When do potatoes sell? I have no idea. They sell in December at their highest price. So November, December, we kind of want to be looking out. So we got a few months here to just kind of rest and not have to worry. That's the good thing about the potato harvest. It comes and goes. It's a pain in the backside, but once it's done, you're done for a while. You don't have to worry about it. So we're going to go forward. And I think we started at 10 a.m. So yeah, 6.5 hours worth of just pure potato digging pain. Pure potato digging pain. All right. So I apologize for this episode being a little late, but yeah, you guys understand, I'm sure. We ain't got nothing we need in September. We ain't got no money anyway, so let's keep it going. We want to take a look at the price in November before we go forward, because there's a chance that it could be at its highest price already in November, but it'll most likely go up a little bit in December. I just kind of, nothing in the shop. Okay, good. We'll go forward into November. And now we'll look at our price of the taters. And potatoes are selling for, it looks like $250. I don't need to wait for an extra $4 on the thing. We're going to go ahead and sell our potatoes now here in November. I'm hoping for a nice haul, guys. I'm not going to lie. I'm hoping for a real nice haul. We need it. Otherwise, the farm is going bankrupt. And I don't want that. So please, everybody put your hands together for the Deutzfahr on the way to selling at the farmer's market right across the street. Please pray that this has been a good harvest. And that this is going to be enough money to save the farm. That's all I ask. Just be enough money to save the farm. Currently $4,300 in debt. All over the road. We gotta save the farm, man. Go through there. Alright, so we should be able to sell these off right over here. And I really hope this is a good chunk of money, man. If it ain't, we're broke. And this might be the end of the series. Oh no, come on. Potatoes, save us. We bet it all on potatoes, guys. Is it going to be enough to save us? $113,000 and $12,000 bonus. I mean, that's a good payday, for sure. Is it enough to save us? That I don't really know. Because there's a couple of things we got to do. One is we got to get a cultivator. That disc harrow is calling my name. So we're probably going to use that for sure. Um, the big thing is, like, I would love to upgrade my equipment right now from that potato plant or that potato harvester. I ain't even joking. Even the planter's rough, but I can deal with the planter for a little bit. I need a way to upgrade from this harvester for sure. Because we need to maximize the amount of taters we're getting off the field, and that thing with a 1.5 meter working width, it just ain't cutting it. So let's look at the two things that we're looking at. So the disc harrow that we were looking at is $43,000. That is quite expensive. Quite expensive. We're gonna need it, or a disc harrow, but I'm hoping we can get that one. How many horsepower does that require? 180. So we got plenty of horsepower for it. That's not a problem. Okay. So the next thing we were going to look at is the potato planter. So $33,000 for the header itself, if we were to go for one of these, right? These are essentially the exact same. This one holds a little bit more, but it doesn't really matter. These are literally almost exactly the same. This one is absurdly expensive. And it doesn't tell you what the working width is for whatever reason. Gonna assume it's like 3 meters because it doesn't look like it's very wide. This one comes with a 3.2 meter working width. It's $495,000. Again, I just don't see us being able to afford this stuff. $39,569. You see what I'm saying? It's so expensive. Okay, and then this is 353. It's a little bit more potentially possible. Let's go find our vehicles and see what we can sell, if it's even close. I doubt it. So the thing that's coming to mind right off the bat would be this thing. What is it worth? $105,000. So that still has us quite a bit short. We're going to need another harvest minimum to be able to afford what we need to afford. That's pain. That is actual pain. Now, in fairness, I'm pretty sure that this harvester can have up to 2.5 million liters, it looks like, of storage capacity, which is nice. That would get our whole harvest done, which means we wouldn't really need a trailer necessarily unless we're hauling. So that would allow us to potentially sell that tractor, but that tractor's pretty small, or not very expensive. So I don't think that's going to help us. I think we just got to suck it up, Buttercup, and go for another harvest. I think we're stuck. I think we're going to have to do at least one more harvest at this in order to afford to upgrade our equipment. So, if that's the case, let's look for actual planters. It should be under root crops, right? Potato planters. So right now, this is what we have, I think, or this one is what we have. It requires only 150 horsepower, but it's got a 3 meter working width. We could We still don't have enough money for that. But this can plant at 6 meters, which would come in real handy. This one also plants at 6 meters, but again, look at the size. Like, there's just pain. Pain and suffering everywhere we go. So I think we're stuck with our current planter. We're stuck with our current harvester. The only thing we're going to be able to upgrade this year is potentially to upgrade our cultivator. So we'll go ahead and do that. We'll grab this Dalbo. $43,000. We don't need a seeder unit, I don't think. What is it capable of planting? I don't know what that is. Let me look at the thing, see if we can find out what they are. So grass, obviously. There's field grass and regular grass. Interesting. Oilseed radish can be planted. Now that's a winter crop that could come in handy. Vetch rye, that must be a map specific, because I've never even heard of that, unless they just added that or something into the game. But that's new. Never even heard of that. I've heard of rye, but I've never heard of like in farm sim. So yeah. So if we go for the seeder unit, we can use this to plant our oilseed radish and stuff and get a subsidy while our potato field lies dormant. You know what I'm saying? That might not be a bad idea. So this is grass, field grass, vetch rye, and oilseed radish that it can plant. How much does it change the price? It only adds $5,000 to the price, and that'll allow us to plant something that could potentially give us subsidies for when the... yeah, I think we go for it. Let's go ahead and do that. That'll give us the ability to plant during the wintertime, get a little bit of a subsidy for oilseed radish, I think. So let's go ahead and do that. And we will take our big tractor out and go pick that up. All right, let's take us back to the farm. We are already set up for oilseed radish. But this, in theory, will allow us to plant oilseed radish as well as go through and till everything under a lot quicker with an 8-meter working width. So that should make cultivating and stuff less painful. It'll be an overall good experience. And if we can earn a little bit extra money by having the oilseed radish in the wintertime, I have no idea how much you actually make off that. I've never done it. So yeah, we'll give it a shot, right? I'm pretty sure it's a per month thing. So if like we plant it now, we should have planted it back when we harvested in August, and then we would get a little bit of money each month from a subsidy, I believe. I don't know. Like I said, I've never done it. I heard it's a thing in precision farming. I've just never actually done it. So we'll see. We'll see how it works. And then I know it's supposed to give you like an extra layer or a layer of fertilizer when you till it under. Because you don't actually harvest the oilseed radish. You till it under, and it adds like fertilizer to the ground. which saves you money on fertilizer, which tends to be kind of expensive. So, should be a win-win-win, right? Should be. Depends on how much it takes to plant the oilseed radish. Like if this thing only has, I think it said it was 300 or 700 liter seed tank. I have no idea how much of that it's going to take to plant our 15 and a half acres. Might be kind of significant. Trying to see how this works. So yeah, so it looks like the seeds just kind of get dropped in behind the discs. Pretty interesting. There's like no fingers or anything to place it into the ground, so it just must spread it over the surface, kind of blows it out. Which to me would mean it probably uses quite a bit of seed. We'll find out. But for our first new piece of equipment that is an upgrade, we'll take it. Because this is going to make our job a little bit easier instead of having to work with that tiny little cultivator. Pretty sure we already sold that off. I'm pretty sure it was part of everything else that we sold off. If we go over here to vehicles, yeah, so everything that we have currently is everything that we need to have. Fill this thing up with seed on our way by. We got $73,000 in the bank. Hopefully that'll be enough to get us through until next harvest, and then hopefully that harvest will be enough to get us through an upgrade. Hopefully. Otherwise, I might sell off this silo because we don't really need this silo. Yeah, it only holds 300 liters. That's a bit sad, to be honest. But our potato planter only plants potatoes, so yeah, not really good for what we're trying to do here. Go ahead and unfold it. Set our steering assist up. This crop cannot be planted in November. So when does oilseed radish get planted? Can be planted in March. Okay, so we missed the planting season for this time. So we need to plant this right after we harvest, or within the couple of months after harvest. Fair enough. But that's fine. It still will allow us to cultivate the field, which we can go ahead and do. And it's a shallow cultivator, so it shouldn't hurt us too much in the tillage. Hopefully. Although our Deutz-Fahr is struggling a little bit. These little hills don't look like much, but they take their toll, for sure. They definitely take their toll. Now, do we need anything else on this farmland? Or is it pretty much good? Looks like we are pretty good, to be honest. pH is fine. Nitrogen, obviously, is going to be needing to be done. But that should be fine. If we can knock this out real quick, this shouldn't be an issue. And then when it comes time for March, we just got to do our planting. I know we left quite a few potatoes in the ground this last time. But for our first harvest of potatoes, I think it went pretty well. It does take forever, but the payout was decent for no more than we had. I mean, this is only a 15.5 acre field. We made $100 and some thousand off of it. It's just the time is the issue. But I'm open to listening to your guys' suggestions on what we can do to try to make this a little bit nicer. Obviously, I want to upgrade, but if I've got to do a couple of more harvests in order to get the money, then that's what we'll do. Just gotta stick it out, right? Not sure how much we could sell the silo for. Let's just check that out real quick. So, yeah, that's only going to sell for $4,744. That's crazy. I'd rather keep it for that. Sold just about everything we can possibly sell from this playthrough. You can see while this horsepower, or this tractor does have enough horsepower, it still struggles with any of these little hills, which is not ideal. One could argue that we could try to get a better tractor, but for the money, you can't really get a better tractor. I think this thing has 230 horsepower and was, what, $100,000 or less? That's hard to beat for a medium tractor specifically. So you can see it does struggle going up the little hills. And these are not big hills. And I don't plan on going through and, like, terraforming anything. I'm just going to leave it as is. Alright. I think I vastly underestimated the size of our field. Wait, did we not get it all? I wasn't paying attention, I'll be real honest. How do we miss this spot? This field has like a weird little tilt to it that causes this one little tiny spot. It's real annoying. But anyway, like I said, I vastly underestimated the size of our field. I think us starting with this field is a blessing and a curse. One, it means that we're able to get things progressing relatively quickly because of the amount of money that we're going to make off the field. But two, the amount of time it takes to do everything on this field when you have tiny equipment sucks. Everything takes forever. Even this thing, I was like, man, this is going to be great. I'm going to have a nice 8-meter wide disc harrow. My tractor can barely pull it at its maximum speed. And it just isn't, even though it's supposed to be decent, it takes forever to do anything. Alright, we should be able to put this in front of the limer for now. We won't need the lime spreader for a couple of harvests anyway. I'm going to shut her down there. But, yeah, I think that's where we're going to call this episode. This has been a doozy, y'all. This has been the longest recording of Farm Sim I've ever had to do. But I think I'm going to call it there. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Don't forget to leave your comments down below. Let me know what you guys are thinking of this brutal series so far. And whether or not you guys want it to continue. And if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button. Leave a comment below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And as always, I will see you in the next video.